I want to go ahead and introduce Mr. Daniel Kramer. Daniel Kramer is a trial lawyer who specializes in representing families and individuals involved in personal injury and wrongful death matters, as well as employment discrimination and retaliation lawsuits. Good morning, Daniel. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's early. It's early. You look like you're up. You're excited to change the world. When I
I
was
am.
reading, go ahead.
I'm very excited.
I was reading your bio, and to me, what's unusual, and believe me, I wouldn't be where I am today without Uber and Lyft. They changed my life in a way that I was able to concentrate on building my business, building my brand, and building my company. And now they're at the forefront of all these various lawsuits. And I saw that in your bio that you're working with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've handled, unfortunately, a lot of cases where an individual will be either seriously injured, either as an Uber driver or in an Uber vehicle, or hit by an Uber driver or Lyft driver. And usually in those situations, if the Uber driver's on the clock, Uber would be responsible. And so if someone is severely injured or killed, the family can sue Uber. And, importantly, the Uber driver who did harm the family or the individual, they would have the financial backing of Uber, the company, to protect them so that all their assets or all their money and houses aren't taken away from a lawsuit. Unfortunately, now in California, we had a proposition that just passed, Prop 22. I know we have an international audience. Uber was trying to basically say that they are not an employer of the Uber drivers, that the Uber drivers are now going to be independent contractors. They carve out in the law. So it means that every other company that has to abide by the law, Uber doesn't. And the voters voted for it directly. And I do think it's an unfortunate law because it basically takes Uber's liability away. So for example, if someone is sexually assaulted by an Uber driver, the person who was sexually assaulted in the Uber can't go after Uber itself. If someone is injured by an Uber driver, you can't sue Uber. It leaves the driver out to hang. And more importantly, for my profession, it leaves the family who lost a loved one. Essentially, you can't go after Uber. There's a lot of other protections that Uber drivers will no longer have. But, the law passed and we have to deal with it. I'm involved in the California Consumer Lawyers Society, and we are trying to figure out ways to make sure people are protected. But that is what we're dealing with right now.
I see certain aspects that are positive and then certain aspects that are negative. And so I don't think this situation has been easy for anyone. I don't think this is a situation that is clear cut.
There are ways, there's flexibility within the law to still have the protections that I believe that, Uber should provide to its drivers and to other people who are injured. I mean, many other companies do it within the law. And I just think Uber wanted to save money. But I totally understand what you're saying. I have many clients who work for Uber and they love the flexibility. So it's not a simple issue. It's definitely not black and white. There's a lot of gray area.
Wait, that's interesting. Is that just in California?
Yeah, it was just a California law that was passed. In California, we have propositions, which mean the law goes directly to the voters as opposed to the legislature in California deciding. So this was one of those where Uber put it on the ballot so that all the voters in California can decide this one issue. And they've spent $200 million in advertising to advertise to the voters of California, and it passed because the other side couldn't match the funds to advertise.